All right, I'm gonna do a tier list of YouTubers, and it's not really organized in any way. It's just a pretty random, diverse set of YouTubers that I know of, and it's not really supposed to make any sense. So let's jump right into it. Okay, ChubbyEmu. ChubbyEmu content's pretty good. I'm gonna have to put in C tier though, because at the start of every video he goes, presenting to the emergency room, like that, and I have to dock points for it. All right, next one, Tech Ingredients. See, this one is a mix of really good, interesting content and like really boring, stupid content. There's even like slow-mo explosions and stuff sometimes, which is like really fucking cringe. I think I'm gonna put them on C. All right, Kyriakos. We need a new tier for Kyriakos, actually. Like this. All right, that's where Kyriakos goes. All right, Advoko Makes. I'm gonna put him on E tier because he's basically like the pinnacle of those sort of like solo survivalist channels where he goes out in the woods and like makes stuff. The only problem is he kind of like whispers all the time when he talks, and it's like...
Of my water wheel running off a small stream near my log cabin deep in the woods.
Why are you doing that? Just talk normally. The pacing's all right, but it's not like so perfectly crafted that it should go on S tier. So yeah, I think A is where he goes. ArtosisCasts. For what it is, I almost want to put on S tier. It's not quite as good, I don't think, as like a TasteosisCast, because it's just Artosis. So it lacks some of that humor that you would get with Tasteosis. All right, LeLe Farley. This is another one where it's like, I like you and I want to give you a higher rating, but there's some problems. So I'm gonna put him on C. And the thing is, a lot of his content is really funny. And a lot of his content is also the type of stuff I would not see anywhere else, which I value very highly.
在那里了一会儿，妈妈看到了银行保安，然后就说：“中国的保安怎么那么可怜呢？”我愣了一下，问他为什么，他说：“他们身上怎么都不带 AK 呢？”我听完笑得不行，我说：“妈，这里是中国，很安全。”
The problem is, it's always sandwiched between like super cringe shit. And like it makes it difficult to link his videos to people. S2 Underground. He brings a lot of like cool, obscure information that you wouldn't really hear anywhere else or many other places. His videos are like a large portion of just like really impractical, like LARPy kind of information that you're not actually ever going to use. And it's kind of like cool to consider, but it's also just like, I think I'm going to give him a solid B. It's just like a cool channel to like mix into the rest of what you've got. Caspian Report. I feel like it's more of like a trying to be more professional, but also it feels like they don't have any idea what they're talking about. Like they're just pretending to know anything and they just don't, and they just make stuff up. So yeah, I think I'm going to put Caspian Report in D. Let's see, Historia Civilis. This is some really good content. I want to put it on S, but he uploads so infrequently, like Clickspring. It can't really go on the S tier because you're gonna get a video like once every year and a half or something. Kings and Generals. It's very similar to Historia Civilis, but it's just like way worse. It's kind of like what the History Channel should be. CalebCity. This is easy S. Every single video that Caleb puts out almost is so good. He's like unironically like a top echelon comedian in general, not just on YouTube. His comedic timing is just like really good. The pacing of his videos is really good. Like a problem that almost every comedy YouTuber has is their videos are just too long. He only spends as much time as he needs to spend to build up to the joke. And then when he gets to the joke, there's always enough like twist or absurdity that it's like not quite what I'm expecting, and it's just like peak comedy. It's like perfect. He's basically the YouTuber that every other comedy YouTuber should be compared against. All right, Dave Darling. This is someone you've definitely not heard of. So the thing about Dave Darling, he's like a science news presenter, but his videos are so succinct and his level of knowledge is abnormally high. So he doesn't give misinformation. He does give information which is outside of the normal pop sci realm sometimes. Like you'll get you'll sometimes hear things you actually haven't heard before, which is weird. I think what keeps it back from being S is that the information isn't novel enough. The Uncharted Zone. This one's kind of weird because basically the Uncharted Zone has been like a comedy goldmine for like decades, and I'm gonna put it on D because it's the same comedy every time. It's the same cringe. It was really funny in like 2007, and they're still uploading. All right, Daniel's Second Life. Now this should be an easy S tier. Like, every single video he uploads is incredible, and it's basically like era defining. Like we're in the era of buying a dragon right now, and we're waiting for his next upload to know like what we're gonna call that period of time. But the problem is he uploads so infrequently. It's this, unfortunately. Penguin Z0. Let's do this. And the reason I'm doing this is because his content's boring and he has a fake and gay voice.
In the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1.
So I'm putting him down here in F. Bin Eater. He's an S. He's the best educational YouTuber, like full stop. He's just the best educational YouTuber. That only applies if you actually care about what he's educating you on, but if you don't, just don't watch his videos, you know? But if you are interested in what he's making content on, it couldn't be better, basically. SciShow is an easy F. I kind of deliberately added SciShow to this list because I realized the channels I selected all have like merits to them, because I was picking from channels that I would watch occasionally, but it kind of gives a skewed image, like, cause like we have like Caspian Report down at D, and it's like, wow, that's like the bottom basically. They must be really bad. But Caspian Report is like, you know, 1,000 times better than something like SciShow. And there's lots of other channels like this. SciShow is basically, I fucking love science, like excited soy face with hands up like this, Redditor content, and it's just like full of misinformation. They don't even have like basic common sense or ability to do any sort of research or anything. It's just trash, just awful. All right, Diversity. Diversity is like an electronic music channel. The music's pretty good. The problem is the thumbnails are making me think about cooming when I open the video and not thinking about listening to music. And like, I'm just trying to listen to music. I'm not trying to coom to your hot anime girls. So I'm gonna put that one on D. Now, Pan Piano, very similar to Diversity, but I'm gonna make a new tier here, which I'm gonna call Coom. Basically, the thing about this is that I only click on a piano video because of the thumbnail. I don't give a fuck about your piano music. I just want to look at your hot cosplay. So I'm gonna put that in the Coom category. All right, Louis Rossmann. This is one of those ones where I'm like, damn, I really want to give you a high rating, but I'm gonna have to put him in D, because in the past, like not even that long ago, like a year ago, I would have put Louis Rossmann in like A, like a solid A. But the problem is now all of his videos are just him complaining about New York and COVID restrictions. And it's like, I agree with like almost everything you're saying and stuff, and like you're smart and your takes are good and everything like that. You're a reasonable guy, but the videos are just so boring. Like, I don't care. I don't want to hear about you complaining about New York, and I don't want to hear about COVID restrictions. It's boring. I don't want to see that shit. So I don't even watch his videos anymore now. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the state of things. Super GT, it's like a solid B. Sometimes I'll listen to his videos to fall asleep. He's got a soothing British voice and soothing commentary of driving and stuff. It's good. Shiey, he's like a Lithuanian. He does urban exploring and stuff. And it's like, well, that's super exciting and stuff, but it's actually, after like one video, you're like, yeah, but you're just kind of climbing into a building. Like, who cares? It's just a building. Like, I can see that myself from like a distance, and like climbing into it isn't really more interesting in any way. So I'm gonna give him the D tier there. So yeah, that's my tier list. So if you have any opinions about this, go ahead and post that in the comments. I won't read it. But it will give me like a higher interaction score on YouTube, so it might increase the number of views I get on my video.